All right, in the case that you have the views given, well, I'll call catty corner here, they are not adjacent views. We aren't given a uh, plan view of top down and a front elevation. We're given, the top down and the profile instead of the front elevation. And so looking at the way it's situated here, it's catty corner. And what you do is it's a little different than the other procedure in that you're not even needing to get the distances. Of course, the first thing I would do is label A and B here. And let's suppose this was A up here and B down here. Um, that's fine. It could have been the other, A and B could have been somewhere else. It could have been, the opposite of the way I've just put them. But let's suppose that is indeed what we have, a line such that A is, if we look at the top down, A is at this end and B is at the lower end here. Uh, and then looking at the profile view, by the way, I said lower end. We don't know that it's the lower end in terms of elevation. We're looking at a top down and we can't really tell the elevation of A or B. But anyway, B is closer to the folding line. I should have put it that way. What I'm doing is the first step that I do with any of these problems is I draw projection lines. Any of these problems where I'm trying to complete a view, I draw a projection line and I do, I'm doing it, I'm not using a t-square because I'm doing this on my computer. Uh, Ideally I'd be, I'd have a t-square that I'd line up with with the folding line, with the folding line that has, this here, the vertical folding line. And you can see I'm making a mess here. I'm going to try and clean that up. This is all a function of, the problem with trying to do it on the computer here, on the computer screen. Well, I said this isn't going to require finding distances, and that's because to determine where A and B are in the front elevation view, and to do that in order to complete the line, you're going to also draw your projection lines coming down from the top-down view, from the plan view. And again, I'm doing this as best I can to make sure the lines are my projection lines. Remember, these are called projection lines. I use the right terminology here. And these are called folding lines. Those were on the previous lesson, those definitions. Okay, so, and then of course the three principal views that we have, principal views, the plan view labeled H, H for horizontal, front elevation. And okay, maybe you figured it out by now. If you want to know where B is where the B's meet here, where the projection lines for B meet. I didn't put B up here. I certainly wouldn't do it there because it's not on B anyway. I didn't put B here. Why didn't I do that? Are you sure you know? As I cross here, it's meeting A. And so B is not, it's got to be where the projection lines for B meet. And A meets right here, the projection lines for A. And oh, I should have labeled this immediately. I always tell the students to label it immediately. Because when you start to do descriptive geometry problems where there's a lot of lines going on, you're going to wish you had labeled everything immediately. You don't want to, what was that point supposed to be? Okay, you see my line's not very straight again. That's, but a little crooked. Anyway, that's how you solve it when the views are catty corner. Okay, so that's just a quick lesson on that.